There's a device that I've been using called a Whoop.
Hello, and welcome back to the 5th season of the International Game of Whoop. I'm Dan Sugano, aka Skittles, and in this video, we're gonna be Oh my gosh, what just happened there? Some kind of major power loss caused human Skittles to completely shut down.
Skittles, oh no!
I'll go check on the situation and report back with what I find. Barani Dan, what did you do this time? Whoa, man, I had absolutely nothing to do with this. Sorry, I was just practicing my Baranis and then...
Even though I was in a suspended hibernation state, I could see that you were using roll instead of yaw for your Baranis. I had to say something.
I can confirm, those were some weak-ass Baranis. What's good, IGOWers? Barani Dan here, everyone's favorite Dan, we all know this. And it looks like Skittles might be offline for a little bit, but clearly I hold the expertise for this particular challenge anyway. So let's get right into it. A Barani, if you're somehow not familiar, is the first half of a power loop. You're gonna go under an obstacle and then go up to the top like you're performing a power loop. And then when you're inverted at the top of the power loop, you're gonna perform a 180-degree inverted yaw spin and then finish with the second half motion of a Mattyflip back under the obstacle, flying backwards. And then you've performed a Barani, the greatest trick in all of FPV freestyle. Let's jump straight into that example submission, and then when we come back, I'll break down the challenge details. Here are the requirements for IGOW 5, challenge number 9, the Nick Burns Baranis. So requirement number 1 is that you must perform a 3-trick combo on any over-under obstacle. I'm using these wires here, and the 3-trick combo must be done back to back to back. Power loop, Barani, Mattyflip. Completed. Requirement number 1. Requirement number 2 is that you must set up a TGS. Everyone remaining in IGOW 5 should be familiar with this obstacle from challenge number 2. It's got the same setup, 3 IGOW approved gates stacked on top of one another with the bottom gate set on the ground. And for requirement number 3, we have a 5-step combo that you must perform on the TGS. It starts with a split S from the top to the bottom, and then immediately into a Barani from top to bottom. And then a smaller split S from the middle to the bottom, immediately into another Barani from top to middle, celebration roll with the TGS in view, and you've completed requirement number 3 of IGOW 5, challenge number 9, the Nick Burns Baranis. All right, so as you can see, pretty solid challenge there. I personally would have liked to see a few more Baranis mixed into the requirements, but after going a little overboard in IGOW 4, I can understand dialing it back a bit for this season. Okay, so for requirement number 1, you must perform the following 3-trick combo on any over-under obstacle with no bumps, ground taps, or failed attempts. The 3 tricks are a power loop, a Barani, and then a Mattyflip. You must do these tricks in order and immediately one after another, so the end of one trick is the start of the next. So again, you can perform this combo anywhere on any obstacle that you can fly both over and under. If you're just learning Baranis for the first time, I strongly suggest finding a tall obstacle so you have plenty of clearance above the ground to complete your Baranis. Requirement number 2 is simply to set up a TGS, or triple gate stack. You should remember this obstacle because it's the same as from challenge number 2. It's just 3 IGOW approved gates stacked on top of one another with the bottom gate on the ground. And again, remember the maximum gate size is 28 inches or 71 centimeters on the open side of a square. And then for requirement number 3, you must perform the following 5-trick combo on your triple gate stack with no bumps, ground taps, or failed attempts. All these tricks must be performed in order and immediately one after another. So you're gonna start your TGS combo with a split S from the top gate all the way down to the bottom gate. And then that's immediately gonna go into the second trick, which is a Barani performed through the top gate. You must be inverted and performing your yaw spin while you pass through the top gate. Then you complete your Barani backwards motion through the bottom gate. And then the third trick is another split S. This time you're gonna go through the middle gate and then finish through the bottom gate, immediately into another Barani where you pass through the top gate while inverted and performing your yaw spin again. But this time you're gonna finish the second Barani backwards through the middle gate. And after completing the second Barani through the middle gate, you're gonna cap off the combo with a celebration roll with the TGS in your FPV view. Okay, so that concludes the standard requirements, but remember, if you're a pilot that already has 3 letters, IGO, then you're gonna be eligible for the Viagow modified requirements. So the first 2 requirements are gonna be exactly the same, but requirement number 3, instead of performing a 5-trick combo that we just went over, you only have to perform a much easier 2-trick combo. And that combo consists of a Barani starting from the bottom gate and then upside down and inverted through the top gate while you're performing the yaw spin, and then finish Matty motion back through the bottom gate. And then you're gonna perform a roll as you pass through the middle gate. And you must start this roll before you enter the gate and complete it after exiting. Okay, so those are the modified requirements for those of you eligible for Viagow. Again, those that have 3 letters IGO going into this challenge. All right, so the Barani is obviously the featured trick of this challenge. And naturally, it's gonna be the main trick scrutinized for the pass-fail points of focus. For all of your Baranis throughout this challenge, you must be inverted and able to see the back wall or horizon before beginning your 180-degree inverted yaw spin. Also, for all of your Baranis in this challenge, you must clearly be inverted and yaw spinning rather than rolling to switch between the Powerloop and Mattyflip motions of your Baranis. And when performed on a TGS, your Barani should ideally have that nice yaw track type motion as you pass through the top gate. And of course, all of your Baranis must have constant loop motion, so they have that nice, smooth, swooping, Matty motion finish. Finally, the last point of focus is gonna be on the split S on the TGS. And you must start rolling before you pass through the gates of the TGS while performing your split S. And you must perform your split S with roll, not just a flat yaw turnaround. Dan Sugano, aka Skittles here, and I just wanted to take a second to let you all know a little bit about the history of Nick Burns and IGOW and why he's such an important figure to IGOW, probably the most important in IGOW history. So back when I created IGOW, I don't even know how many years, 6 years ago now. Anyway, the idea was to kind of get more people involved in our battle group that we had, which was sort of like IGOW challenges, but you challenged each other. Anyway, I saw a skateboard version of the challenge created by Johnny Geiger, awesome YouTuber, check him out, link. And he had a similar version of skate where everyone played around the world, and I thought that would be awesome for FPV, so I created IGOW, and I had maybe 20 people, all the locals and some of the other pilots I do from online that had joined. But it didn't really get big until I was reaching out to different people, and most of them just ignored me, like a lot of the other YouTubers, Albert Kim. And but Nick Burns took his time. He actually read the email that I sent him, and he thought it was a really cool idea. He made a video about it on his YouTube channel without even me asking, and he joined the first IGOW, and he actually placed in the 50th place in the top half of the pilots. It was really awesome, and he was putting out the videos, challenges each week, and it really blew IGOW up. We got over 100 participants in the first year alone, most mostly thanks to Nick Burns. And since then, he's been a huge promoter and supporter and, of course, sponsor like he is again this year. So every year, I'm always excited when Nick Burns puts out his video about IGOW, because we always get a big bump in registrations, because it brings it to in the front of the eyeballs of a bunch of new pilots, because Nick has such a big channel and he's such an awesome reviewer. He gets a ton of reviews and a ton of subscribers, and that's well deserved because of his content is so informative, especially when you're getting into FPV and you don't know what to buy and there's so many options. Having someone that gives great honest reviews like Nick is just a super valuable resource. So having him promote IGOW and tell people that it's a great way to fly always brings in a ton of pilots. And again, huge thanks to Nick Burns. Can't say thank you enough. Without Nick, IGOW might have just died out after a season or two, but it definitely wouldn't be as big as it is today. So Nick Burns, IGOW legend. Alright, IGOWers, especially if you've never attempted a Barani before, I highly suggest trying out the motions in the simulator first to get an idea for how the trick feels on the sticks. Then, get consistent at Baranis outside on an obstacle with plenty of height and clearance before finally progressing to attempting them on the TGS. Okay, so once you've got the basic motions down in the sim, you're going to want to come out into real life and give the new trick a try. So first thing is obstacle selection. And you're going to want to make sure you have something that's pretty high above the ground. These wires are not bad, but if I could get something even taller, that would be even better. And then what you want to do is choose the direction you're going to want to go. Right now it feels like there's a little bit of a breeze blowing this way, so I definitely want to use that to assist myself when going upside down and backwards over the obstacle. So I'm going to loop this way. So first I'm going to test out the basic elements on the obstacle. So I'm going to do a power loop this direction, kind of get a feel for that, how much toss I need to do to make sure that I cleared the obstacle. And then also a Mattyflip on the obstacle as well, so I get an idea for what it looks like and where I need to catch to come backwards. Okay, so now I've got the two elements down. Also, you should probably practice a pack or so of inverted yaw spin with backflip in to make sure you kind of have that motion down. But let's get right into it. So first you're going to want to do a power loop. You want to make sure you toss yourself plenty back. So I would do kind of a segmented power loop where you kind of pause inverted and then complete the loop. So let's try that again. We're going to go power loop, cut, then complete the loop. So I need a little bit more toss backwards to get a little more distance. Let's try that again. And then complete the loop. Okay, so now that I've got that down, let's try to turn it into a Barani just by doing the inverted 180 yaw at the top. Okay, so a little bit messy there. I didn't catch quite at the right position to come back through. Let's try it again. There we go. That was a little better, except I was over the wires. I don't think I got quite under them. There we go. That's pretty good. All right. So toss, cut, come back. That one looked pretty clean. Power loop, toss, cut, yaw, come back. That time I did not drop far enough, so I didn't get back under the wires. That would have been a fail. Let's do this again. Toss, inverted yaw, cut. That wasn't really constant loop motion, as I had to adjust. I got to get my Matty a little bit better. There we go. It's a little bit better. Still, I'm over flipping a little bit, so I'm not really getting that speed on the way back. There we go. That one was a lot cleaner. Another one. Cut, inverted yaw spin, and there we are. Alright, so that's about a battery, and that's how I would start approaching your Baranis. Alright, IGOWers, now I expect you to all thank me for introducing you to the absolute coolest trick in all of FPV freestyle, the Barani. Good luck and happy whooping.